Says like this, Parashat Emor, the Ben Ishchai comes and he says, right, as follows. Rabbi Omer, Rabbi comes and he says, Al tistakel b'kankan, ela mamash yesh bo. Don't look at it, don't judge a book by its cover. What does that mean? This is actually in this week's Pirkei Avot, Perek Dalet, where it says, Al tistakel b'kankan, ela mamash yesh bo. Yesh kankan chadash male yashan, v'yashan male chadash, afilu ma chadash en bo. What does that mean? Sometimes you have to understand that there's a kankan chadash, but it's all full of old things. So don't, and sometimes you have an old one, shafilu chadash en bo. Nidele b'siyat hashma kavanah. What is the kavanah? Ikar ma'alot adam chashivito hu mitzad, right, aniran, which means the ikar ma'alat of the human being is going to be because of his nefesh, ruach, and neshama. That's niran. Shebo. V'lo mitzad haguf levado, not only just because of the body. Kol haguf, because ki haguf, kol min ha'adam shavebo. Because the goof, everybody's equal, right? At the end of the day, right, everybody's the exact same. So he says, which means like this, everybody has a body. So it means, are we different in bodies? We all have this body, but we're different in the nefesh, ruach, and neshama of a person. And that's why he says, Al tistakel b'kankan, don't look in the kankan, which is a goof. Shetomar, right, ka'am ka'kohen, ka'eved ka'adonav, shavim hem, ela b'ma sheyesh bo, right? But rather what's inside of it, shem naran b'tocho. Kine yesh kankan chadash shel dorot ha'acharonim ha'ele male yashan, which means it's full of old naran gdolim shem midorot harishonim shayu kamalachim. Yesh yashan, which means a guf shel dorot harishonim shafilu naran ktanim shem be'erech dorot ha'achronim chadashim gam ken en. So miu, however, though, katvu mfarshim zan, given the ruach hakodesh that mahema hanaran shiu b'gufin nishonim ha'mem shiu b'gufin ha'achronim, right? Atzinu, which means at the end of the day we don't have this ruach hakodesh. So if we don't know, so what is it going to help us then? So צריכים אנחנו לכבד את הראשונים מסתמה. So we have to always be מכבד מסתמה. כי נאמר, תעשה, מאחר שהיו דור ראשונים מסתמה זכו לנהלן גדולים, שאין נמצא איתנו אחד מהערך מעלתם. So therefore, if it did come from something way above, probably we could say mistama. What's a mistama? They probably did come from something much higher above, and therefore it's to have a much greater ba'ala, a much greater, right, how do you call this, a much greater worth, value. And furthermore, they came first, so they're much better than us. Just like the Gemara in Sanhedrin, the Kuf Bet says, Rav Ashi siyem ad perek shlosha melachim. Rav Ashi, he stopped until the perek of shlosha melachim, right, but then he went and he said, Machar niftach bechavrenu. So tomorrow we're going to speak about, which are the three kings that they were to Talmidei Chachamim, but they didn't get chelek ulam haba. In the nighttime, Menashe came to him in a chalom, and he told him, "Chavero shel avicha karata li." What, you're calling me your friend and the friend of your father? Mehechan yeshintzua et halechem b'birkat Hamotzi. From where do you do birkat? Where do you break the bread by Hamotzi? Amalo Rav Ashi, I don't know. Amalo Menashe, it says Menashe Melech. Enecha yodea mehechan yeshintzua Hamotzi v'chavrai v'chavecha ta koreli. Says, you don't even know where to break the bread from Hamotzi. You're going to call me your friend? Amalo Rav Ashi comes and he says, right? I'm reading to you guys the Gemara, right? He comes and he says, right? Lamed oti umachar edrosh halacha zu, right? Mishimcha vet midrash. Teach me. And tomorrow I'm going to say it over in the Bet of Midrash in your name. Amalo Menashe, says Menashe, nimakom sheikdim leafot, right? It's from the place, right? That where it's going to be, Shekdim Lafo, which means that's where it's going to come and it's going to get, how do you call this, baked properly, okay? So that was the Gemara. So now it says here like this. He said, tomorrow we're going to start with our friends. Pirush, right? So this is what I would just translate it to you in Hebrew. He says, I don't know. Right? You're calling me your friend. Emmaleh, Agmarali, right? So that's the Gemara. Upiresh Gaon Mari, right? So this is Rabbi Yonatan Eibeshes, V'yarot Dvash, Chelek Aleph Durush Yudalef. Tvechet Adam Rishon naflu kol neshamot besitra achara v'resol shel nachash. So because of the sin of Adam Rishon, all the neshamot, they went to the sitra achara because of the poison of the snake. So every single generation, we take them from the Sitra Achara, they come to this world. Right? And therefore, they say Chazal, this is a Gemara in Kuf Bet, right, in Shabbat. Im Rishonim Kamalachim, so אנחנו כמו חמורים, and so on and so on, which means that basically if they're like Rishonim, if they're like Malachim, so then we're like אנחנו בני אדם. If they're like בני אדם, so then אנחנו like חמורים, we're not even like חמור. What does that mean? שיש להם יתרון ומעלה לדורות הראשונים והדורות האחרונים. Meaning that there's always going to be an advantage to the previous generations more than the latter generations. שכל נשמה שקדמה לצאת מן הקליפות זמן הרבה יותר מנשמה אחרת. Because anytime that the neshama came first out of the klipot from another neshama, יש להם יתרון מעלה עליה שלא שקע בסדרה דמסעבה זמן ארוך. So therefore it actually has a much greater יתרון ומעלה that it did not sink in the sitra de tum'ah a very long time. כמו אחרת, just like the other one, שיכרה לצאת, it took longer. Meaning the fact that he stayed in the mutz, in the tum'ah longer, so therefore obviously it's much better, the one that came out first. ואינו דומה שוקע בצואה ליום ושוקע יומיים. You're not going to come and start telling me that somebody that comes and he was stuck in excrement for 1 day is the same as stuck 2 days. Obviously, the guy that's stuck 2 days, it's going to be much more clinging to him and being a part of him. So Menashe came and he was trying to show him that look, if you actually pay attention, right, it's the Ma'alat Rishonim, the fact that they came out from the Klipa much before the Acharonim, so they have a higher level. How did he bring the proof from? From bread. Where are you going to make the bracha on the bread? From where it baked first. What does that mean, Pirush? Where the fire is there for first. Therefore, you give it more kavod to do the Birkat Hamotzi right from there. There's going to be a tarovet of the tum'ah in the domem tzomea chai midaber. Right? And anything which is going to be cooked in the fire, right? So therefore, when you're going to come, you're going to put it in the fire, you're going to get rid of this tum'ah, which is clinging to it when it was in the adama. And therefore, this place in the bread, which started cooking first. So this is where it started a few seconds before it got rid of this tum'ah, before the rest of it. And therefore, that's what you're going to do. Hamotzi dafka on that. If so, he says, זמן הרבה קודם נשמות האחרונים, שיעוטו להם המעלה והכבוד. So you have to give them כבוד ומעלה. וכיוון שהם גדולים ממעלה זו, so since they're going to come and they're going to be greater, לכן יצם גם גדול. So that's why they have a bigger יצר as well. And therefore, אל תתפלא אם חטאו כל כך. Don't start coming and thinking why they sin so much. Because at the end of the day, if they sin so much, it means they have the bigger יצרה. נמצא. So it comes out. מטעם יתרום מעלות הנשמות הראשונים והנשמות האחרונים, מובן הטעם למה צריך לקצוע פרוצת המוציא במקום שנפה יפה, right? והיינו משום דשליבו האש יותר נשאר הכיכר. And that's why we're going to start speaking about להלכות of המוציא. says הלכה א', צריך כל אדם להיזהר, לבצוע הפת שמברך עליו המוציא. A person has to be careful when he's going to come and he's going to break the bread of המוציא, right? במקום שנפה יפה ששלב בו האש יותר. In a place where it was actually cooked properly, and they're going to come and they're going to, the fire actually got to it more. ורק הזקן שאי אפשר לאכול במקום שנפה יפה, מחמת שהוא קשה, אז יש במקום. What happens with an older person? Older person is going to break his teeth on biting this hard part or whatever it is. So for him, he could come and he could do the motzi on a soft piece. So that way when he's going to come and he's going to eat, right? So he comes and he's going to do it, so the only him he's going to do it במקום הרח, instead of המקום הקשה. Bet, Amru Razal, the Gemara says in Mesech Berachot of Bet and Bet, Techev Netilat Yadayim Seuda. So this is what we just learned, right? That immediately by Netilat Yadayim, you're going to do Seuda. What does that mean? You're not allowed to start doing other things. You're doing a Sechdat. אפילו הסיכול do anything. אם צריך לדתק נמצא, הוא מסיח דתו. דהיינו אפילו לראות מטבע, right? מטבע. Even if you're going to start checking a coin, if it's good or bad, or you're going to start checking the clock to know if, what's the time, all these things. כי מאחר צריך לדתק על איזה מסיח דתו מסעודה בין נטילה לסעודה ואסורים, then it's going to be אסור. Okay? So here it says here that the Ravadia says, מעיקר הדין, you're allowed to be מפסיק בדיבור, right? Or במעשה בנטילה דין מקד מוציא. Nevertheless, it's better not to, but it's not that it's אסור. Right? And that's what we wrote down in Shulchan Aruch. That's what we were talking about, if you remember. Right? Exactly. וכן, ייזהר, and also a person has to be careful, שלא ידבר בנטילה לברכת המוציא. Person should not come and speak between נטילה לברכת המוציא, ולא עוד, אפילו בשתיקה לא יפסיק. not in shtika. ובדיעבד מותר. ובדיעבד it's going to be, right, mutar. Okay, what does that mean? That if it's going to be, that if he has בדיעבד, it's going to be mutar, he doesn't have to do anything else. וצריך להזהיר לכתחילה שלא ישהה. Yeah, he comes and he says, and the person should be careful לכתחילה שלא ישהה בין ניגוב להמוציא, כדי הילוך כ"ב אמות, וצריך זריזות רב כדי להיזהר בכך. Which means that a person has to be careful, right? לכתחילה, he shouldn't even wait, not even the 22 amot, right? Why? Because you have to do a lot of zrizut in order to come and to do this. This is, no. כ"ב אמה.
כן, אבל זמן?
זה כלום.
לא היה זמן. רק האמות.
כ"ב אמות זה זמן.
What does it mean?
כ"ב אמה, this is the רמה that says this. What?
הרמה זה הרמה?
אלא אפילו בשתיקה לא יפסיק. What does it mean? Even
Not
if he
even
doesn't say anything, that he doesn't do anything else.
Yeah, let's say he doesn't time. Waiting. And that's why we said that the entire concept of the למבצע רדפתה was to ממעט בכ"ב אמות.
So you're supposed to do it while you're walking.
Well, you're doing the מבצע רדפתה and you're taking...
Everybody does it once they're at the table.
Fine, but there's no problem. But again, but you're walking to the table in order to sit down. You have to do a motzi sitting down. A motzi cannot be said sitting down, standing up. But for example, let's say you're the first one that does netilat yadayim, right? And then everybody else is doing it. So therefore, right, it's a machloket. And Shulchan Aruch, he brings down.
You're supposed to sing it while the other people are doing it?
Which one? Yeah. So while they're doing it, you could come and you start singing it slowly, and you take your time, right? And this is the concept.
I'm singing about this, so you concentrate.
Right? So you're minimizing, right? Any type of a hefsek. Okay, that's going to be the first halakha. Well, sorry, this is the second halakha. Third halakha is halicha mibayit lebayit. So you're not allowed to go from one house to another house. Afilu yilich me'at, even if it's going to be yiluch me'at, it's going to be asur. But tzarich lazir amon ha'am bazeh. So a person has to be very, very careful. כי לפעמים קופצים להביא מטפחת או מלח, so בדיעבד it's going to be okay, right? Yes, we're talking about אחרי. כתוב בספר כתר מלכות, קודם כל סעודה יומן מזמור לדוד, השם רואי לא יחסר. Why? You have 57 תיבות, 57 words. שלא יחסר מזון, זאת זן, right? ומזון הנפש. גם יאמר, you should also say בקשת יהיה רבה מקודמה עתיקה קדישה, right? ויאמר פסוק באתי לגני, הדכלו רעים שתו ושכלו דודים, עד כאן, ונדע. Right? ודאי דכל זה יאמר, for sure you should say this all before נטילת ידיים. And also the נוסח לשם ייחוד שבלכות שנתה, which is before the אכילה והבקשה, say it before נטילת ידיים. However, though, העולם נוהגים לומר מזמור לשם רואי, between נטילת ידיים לקראת המוציא, and even though they have מפקפקים בזה, because of ההפסק, אין למחוא בידם, you're not going to come and rebuke them because they have what to rely on. Okay? Hey, ייתן שתי ידיו על הפת בשעת הברכה. You put both hands on the bread during the time of the ברכה, because you have 10 fingers. כנגד 10 מצוות, תלוי בפת. which is לא תחרוש, בשור מלחמון ידיו, צד אחד לגזר כליים, לקט שחפיה, ביקורים, תרומה, מעשר ראשון, מעשר שני, או מעשר עני, חלה, all the 10 things that have to do with the 10 mitzvot which have to do with the pat. Not the order of the bread, but rather the 10 mitzvot that have to do with the bread. וגם כנגד 10 מלאכות שיש בין חדישה לדיפה. Or the 10 things which are going to be from חדישה לתלאפיה, which is the order of the bread, כי בכל מלאכה נעשה בירור ניצוצי קדושה כנודע, and that's why there's 10 words in Hamotzi, and 10 words in Hechal, right, which is going to be the 10 and the 10, because basically what it has 10, so you're putting the 10 fingers, everything is because of the 10. צריך לדתק ולהדגיש בהי של המוציא, כאילו יש בתוך מילואה ה' אחרת. המוציא לך מינה, לכן יעריך במעט, you have to pick it up in the voice also as well, right? כאילו מזכירה בפני עצמה, זה המוציא, כדי שיוכל לכוון מילואה ה' אחרת. In order, when you're doing the you're thinking about another ה'. כנזכר בשם המצוות רבנו ז"ל. כשהגיע לתיבת המוציא, when you say the word המוציא, בהיותו מעריך בה', you tend את הפת זקוף בין שתי ידיו. You pick them up, right, between your two hands, and you pick them up. Meaning, you already have them in your hands. But now what you do is you pick them up, and they're upwards, right? They're not, you understand, that means they're going to be upwards. Right? ויזהה לתת רווח בין תיבה לחם מן הארץ. So you see, המוציא לחם מן הארץ. right? וסידור רבנו נשש כתוב, תניח שידיך על הפת ותכוון להשפיע מכל 10 ספירות המלכות הנקרא לחם. So that's another reason why the 10, because there's 10 sefirot, right? And then he comes and he says, ala malchut, which is called lechem, right? He says the malchut is called lechem. Betadgish adaled damotzi, you're going to be a hay damotzi. You have to make a dagesh on the hay of the word of amotzi. Milat amotzi tadbiya sheyadecha v'alechem me'emtza. You pick up your hands, and the little bread is in the middle. If you have kfafot, if you've got gloves, צריך לעשות ברכת המוציא, צריך שתהיינה ידם ממש על הפת. That's to be ממש, your hands should be directly on the bread. זין, לא ימצא במקום שנכברה בתונון מחברתה, דמרסי כחסר. Sometimes it happens that when you put the breads together, Right? If you're not doing them separately, they're attached. If you're going to come and you're going to separate them, it looks like it's chaser. It's not really chaser, but it looks like it's chaser, right? Because that place, it didn't actually cook properly because it was covered. אפילו שנפל אותו מקום יפה יותר, ולבית הוא עצמו בוצע, בלי שיש אורח גדול ממנו, ומי הוא, sorry, I skipped out. אפילו שנפל אותו מקום יפה יותר, נקודה. Which means even if that place actually was cooked better, it doesn't matter. Okay? Now he comes and he says, as follows. He comes and he says, no, fine. So don't break the bread in a place that it's cut. Then he says, and even if it was going to be cooked better in that place, Balabait himself is going to be botzea. What does it mean? Even though there's an oreach gadol mimenu, it's always a balabait that does it. But technically speaking, you could technically give him a Hamotzi, meaning he does the bracha, but you're the one that's doing the botzea. Okay? You never cut a piece of bread which is going to be less than a kazait, because it looks like tzarei ayin. We're just speaking about tzarei ayin in the Gemara. But not more than a kabetza, then you look like a raftan. When you one of these words, bechol during the weekday, you're eating by yourself. But on Shabbat, or even if you're eating by yourself, right? You're always allowed to do a big piece. If you're going to eat with a lot of people, yes, if you're going to eat, right? You're allowed to take a big piece, but then you're going to give a kazait to every single person. Nobody's allowed to eat until the botzea is going to be eating first. Therefore, he eats first, and then afterwards he gives to all the mesubim. Have a wonderful day.